I think, we don't start.
The link below, do you see it? Why are you watching me still? You haven't clicked the link yet. Click it. Click it. Click the link right now.
No, I never want to be in front of anything.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
So what brought you into singing in the first place? Like, did your family say, "Oh, you can sing, you need to sing," or was it something that you just always did?
No, so it was natural. My sisters and I had a group. So like when we were young.
TLC?
Young. And my mom, because my dad was a singer. Mm-hmm. He's actually in a quartet group. Wow. So the music side is my dad, and then the art side is my mom. She's an artist, teacher, and stuff. So on the music side of things, we just got it naturally. And we started this group when we were kids. And I started writing songs like when I was 8. So I wrote like our first song, and we started traveling, and we were like the youngest group to do a cappella in our city. Like we didn't have any music, just straight harmonies. And we're like 4, 6, and 8.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like a natural thing for us.
Wow.
So yeah, no one forced us. It just was something.
And you just kept going after that?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we wanted to be a group, and then as we got older, we added like my spiritual sister and then another young lady from a church we were attending, and we were starting to get, pretty out there. And then when I was 16, we had our first opportunity to record. At that time, it was a demo. I know they do EPs now, but back then it was the demo. Yes. And so, I brought the songs that I wrote, and then my spiritual sister brought these songs that she wrote, and we went in the studio, we recorded it. And my grandfather, he actually, before he passed, he gave us the money for it. And so went in the studio, recorded it, but we had probably one of the worst run-ins with the producer ever.
Wow.
He, mind you, we were young, so my mom wasn't there, she dropped us off, and she came back, she said the Spirit told her to come back. She come back and found out that we had signed over 50% of the rights to our music to him. Wow. And then, he was one of the rights to the songs and everything. And he didn't want my sisters, but he just wanted to work with me and my spiritual sister. It was like one of the worst experiences, starting out. So after that, it completely turned my sisters off from singing. So my twin went on to do her thing, my sister went on to do their thing, and they all kind of went away from music, but I didn't. So I kind of stayed in, and I did. I was a music director. At that time, 16, I was playing for churches. And so then the church I played for before I kind of quit for a couple of years, it was like a bad thing that happened. I'm moving, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I left, so yeah. But it always stuck with me. I ended up coming back to music. It was just a foundation.
Yep.
It was like music and art, always, always, always. So yeah.
That's cool though. My music background started when I was 17.
Okay.
But I kept doing it because, and I never looked at anything else. It was just always music, just rap all the time.
Yeah. And
the older I got, I was like, man, I can kind of do other stuff though. It wasn't until I got married to my wife that I started venturing into other things. And she was like, oh, you should get paid to talk. Because I talk a lot. And I do talk a lot. But I never thought that could be anything. I was just always rapping because it was a habit. That's why music stayed around so long for me.
Rapping, talking.
Right?
Kind of.
She says rapping is nothing but elongated speaking.
You gotta shout out the woman for bringing out another side of you, because you would have still been in this one direction. It's like, no, you got, it's like the talents, you you got to pull out those talents, or else just,
You're just doing that one thing.
Yeah.
So how did you pull out all of yours?
Life, man, life. Experiences that I've had over the years, in church, out of church. I am one of the unfortunate, I say unfortunate, but it is fortunate for those who want to do what you're doing and want to do acting and want to do anything in the arts. Right. The one thing that makes it so impactful is that you have this experience to kind of build on. So I felt like I was taken on a path of experiences that pulled out different things in me. So the art was like therapy because of like traumatic experiences that happened. Because I told you when I was 19, I started there, but then I put it away. And then I ended up having to come back to it because I had some things that happened back to back to back. And it really did something to me. So I'm in my apartment just like, let me just go buy some paint. Let me, just random, like, let me buy some paint. Let me paint something. And then my friends, they come visit me and they looking at this art displayed all on the floor in my living room. They was like, who did this? Yeah. And I was like, I was just, working on stuff. Like, you paint? What was this at? I'm like, yeah, I actually did some art classes in college and, not even thinking about it. I really thought, honestly, and this is another road that I travel, I thought I was going to be a WNBA player.
Wait, you play ball too?
I play ball. I thought that was going to be my life.
You good?
Sir. I may not completely feel a little sand. I can't play in the sand, but I not play basketball for sure. I thought I was going to be in the WNBA or play overseas, but then I got injured and I had to. So I'm gonna tell you that's probably what got me into like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life, because I was set on basketball is going to be my life. Ball is life.
Well, see,
I was loving basketball without the love part.
Well, listen, we're going to go into basketball because that's my sport right there.
Oh.
So we're going to go into basketball a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I haven't been on the court in a minute, so I just fulfill my basketball dreams through 2K.
First it was anime, now it's 2K.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I'm not judging you.
Look. So, and the thing about me was, like, I'm not gonna say I hit puberty fast. I probably did because I was like shaving in middle school. So like when I was in middle school, elementary, I was taller than everybody. Okay. So I was playing the center position in junior magic. But then when I got to high school, I was like, dang, I'm small.
You got a wake up call.
You like, gosh, dog, everybody just 6 something. Jesus, and I'm 5'11". I'm like, really, God? Like 5'11"?
I mean, it's not bad.
I mean, but
it's not, I
can't even play point guard. I can play point guard in college.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
What was your position? You was a guard.
I was shooting guard.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I started out, I sucked. I was 12, I sucked. I just had a lot of heart. And my mom's just like, this is not the sport for you. She's like, you need to stick to track. Because I did both of them. I'm like, I just really want to play basketball. I don't know why I wanted to play, but I was terrible, like falling all over the place, couldn't dribble, couldn't shoot. I couldn't do anything really, but I was really good with defense. Yeah. So it wasn't until like middle school, like I tried out for the team. And the reason why I got on is because I was like one write-up away from being kicked out of school.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Yeah. And the principal, he actually called me he's like, this is not you. He was like, you need to find something to do because you're too talented, too gifted. He didn't know anything I did. So when I tried out, he found out, he told the coach to put me on the team. Terrible 7th grade year. But the summer, my uncle and my brother, they took me to the court and it was like, if you're going to do this, you're going to be good. So 8th grade year, 7th grade year, I was like most improved. I got that award. 8th grade year, I was the MVP, and we won like our championship. So that turnaround. So it was meant for me to play. Yeah, it was meant for me to play, and I played up until 12th grade. I actually got a scholarship to play ball for Augusta State, And then I also got a scholarship to do track, so I had to choose between the two of them.
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, I was destined to be a ball player.
So I did track, I did the long jump, and I did the high jump. The high jump, that was my thing right there.
Really? I did in middle school, and then I got curvy, so you know. I tried cross country. I did one practice and I realized that that's not what I was gifted to do. We have so much in common. I quit the first practice.
Oh my gosh.
I came in first and it was like, oh my God, you did great. I was like, yeah, this would be my last day.
This would be my last. I did the practice. I said, wait, we leaving the school? And then, cause this was in Point Siena at the time. So this is like, ain't nothing. Yeah, right? You see that face you just made?
Right.
So I was like, when we make this left, ain't nothing out there. Like there ain't even no lights. And I mean, I was just like, nope. Nope. I see why ain't no black people doing this.
We did 8 miles.
Gosh, they just run.
And just
like it ain't nothing. I did the 100 and 200 because I was like, I'm good in spurts.
Yeah.
I could do spurts. And then I wrestled too in middle school. So I did those things. And then I played soccer. So like,
you did a lot.
I did a lot because, I mean, I was I
tried out for everything, but
you didn't get it?
No, it was like a thing that the seniors did. We was like, we're going to try it for every sport.
Oh, yeah. So I did that too.
Yeah, but no, track, it was 400 for me, 4x400, and then the 4x100. And then eventually it was just a 400 to 4x400 because I had stamina and endurance. I had speed, but I didn't have a great takeoff. So by the time like I catch up, it's over with. So yeah, but yeah, I didn't enjoy track. I did it to stay in shape for basketball.
I did track to keep me occupied because I was bad.
See, you was judging me earlier. I had seen it in your eyes when I said I was about to get kicked out of school, and here it is.
No, I did that because I did get kicked out.
Oh.
9th grade.
What?
Yep.
Why?
I was just bad for no reason.
Oh.
Like, see, the things I did was just like, I just wouldn't go to school. I would skip. Oh. So, like, I would go to school, but then I wouldn't go to class. And then, like, some days I just wouldn't go to school. So I had, like, 15 days suspended. And, like, you get one more suspension, you're out of there. And then I got written up for causing the school to riot, but it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. That's the wording, and it sounds bad because on paper it does look bad, but like if I could explain the story, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
So then by the time I got to my 12th grade year and I finally calmed down, I was wrestling, so I wanted to stay wrestling, so I had to get my grades right.
Right.
I was on the principal's honor roll. Everything was going great for me, and then my counselor calls me in, and I'm a senior at this point. My birthday's in August, so I'm like I'm 18. I'm like, I'm done. Y'all, I served my time. They
like
said
a prison sentence.
I did not like school. It wasn't my thing. So this better take off. So
please,
because we done after this.
I've been through too much.
Too much. So I'm like, yo, he's like, where did you go to school in 9th grade? I said, I went to Point Siena High School. We have no 9th grade history for you. How did you even get to 10th grade?
Oh my God.
I went to private school.
Okay.
Private school, they put me in 10th grade because my mom said I was in 10th grade.
Yeah.
So you ain't think nothing of it. And then they said, you're going to have to come back next year. I said, not this guy. GED time. D.L. Hughley, come on now. I see you.
It's like, all right, you guys.
All right, y'all. It was fun.
It was fun while lasting. I'm not staying another year.
Nah,
wow, that's crazy.
And no one told me I was 18. I could just take the GED test.
Yeah.
I went to the school every day, taking the classes, and I'm in there. I'm taking the test, and I'm like, bro, I know this. So I would take the test, and I would leave class early every day. And he was like, do you want to take the test for it? I was like, yeah. He said, you could have just did that. He said, you're 18. He said, how old are you? I said, I'm 18. And they was like, you could have just took the test and been done. I said, why ain't no one? I spent a year here, and so
experiences, man. I'm telling you, the stuff we go through, man.
Crazy. So I did want to go into your training,
Okay.
or like your coaching.
Okay.
So is this like, oh no, before we get to that, you said something. You said you played. So you play, what do you play?
Keys.
And you sing too. Mm-hmm. Where are those videos? There we go.
Yeah. Whew, about that. You know, it's just, yeah, you know.
You have an iPhone.
Uh-huh.
No excuses. That's 4K.
I just, you know, I don't feel motivated. I don't feel it. Now for me, music is just like private worship thing. Like once I walked away from the last church that I had the pleasure working for, I walked away from that whole kind of life. And I chose a more, again, background role. Like I still enjoy it, like very much so enjoy it, but again, I don't want to be there, because not because of the responsibility, but being connected to the right leadership, and even let's go outside of church, being connected to the right people that are encouraged to push you
Right.
in your gift and not intimidated by it is very important. And I think, unfortunately for me, in my experience, I've been connected to individuals who are more intimidated than encouraged to push me. I have no ill intent in anything that I do.
Right.
If I connect with you and what you're doing, it's just to help you. And of course you will want it to build you up in the same regards, but when I work for these churches and things of that nature, my goal was just simply to help the church and to help people in the midst of that. And so I feel like in those seasons I helped so many people, and that can be intimidating, you know? It can be intimidating. And it's like, it's not that I'm trying to, but I feel like God has something in me that some people need. I help a lot of women and, you know, young ladies. And so anything that I did, it always drew like a young girl, because, you know, you don't see a lot of female musicians. That's just, it's not a thing. They're becoming more prevalent now, thank God, because it's becoming more known in the art world. But for me, it was so beautiful to, after a service, you have a little girl run up to you and just like, oh my God, like, you play the piano? Like, I want to play the piano. And I'm like, yeah, you can play the piano. Like, who told you you couldn't?
Right.
You know, and so I'm sitting there talking to the little girl, have her play, you know, a couple of notes, and just doing little, like, that allowed me to do other things, like mentorship programs within and stuff like that. So I enjoyed it, but that kind of light can also cause, you know, conflict. And I'm one who tries to avoid it. And I'm learning now that it's unavoidable. Like, you just have to be you. You have to be comfortable in your gift. You have to be okay with everyone not being okay with you, as long as you don't change your character and who you are. So that's where I'm at with it. But yes, I do play keys, but it's just not for the people.
So I'm gonna tell you this right here. Yeah, people are gonna be intimidated. They're gonna hate on what you do.
Yeah.
Like no matter who you are, you might not even know them. You'll see them online. I did this song called Hate Over Love, right? I did a song called Hate Over Love. And I made that song because I reached a point in my life, I'm 35.
Okay.
Right? I'm 35. This is who I am. Y'all getting this. Sometimes I shave, sometimes I don't.
Hey.
And I'm still gonna do the sit down. Before we got into this spot right here, I would I'll come to the show and I wouldn't wear shoes. I wear flip flops.
Real comfortable.
Real comfortable. Cause I was on my feet all day and I'm like, man, people can't see my feet anyways. So I'm in flip flops. I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Cause as I got older, I realized my comfort is more important to me than people's perception of me. So like I did this song called Hate Over Love, right? And Hate Over Love was just, I ain't doing nothing for the love no more. Give me the hate cause I can take it. I'm not gonna do things for you to love me. If you love me for who I am, great, beautiful. I'm not gonna be a jerk, but give me the hate. I can take that. I was built to take that hate. You know what I'm saying? I was built for it. So I prefer you to just go ahead and hate me, because I'm going to be me. I'm not going to do things to intentionally get your hate, but I'm going to be Daniel. And I know in me being me, because when you're comfortable in yourself and you know who you are, people call it arrogance or cocky, but it says I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've just accepted my flaws. I've accepted my nature, and this is who I am. I'm gonna continue working on myself.
Right.
But I'm gonna step on some toes, because when I show up, I'm confident in who I am.
Always.
Right? So that's gonna automatically, so that's what Hit Over Love is. So, and just being you step on toes. So like, I guess I want to encourage. So like, what did it take for you to get to that space? Because I know my experience. I know where I had to go to get there. So just talk a little bit about you getting to that space where you're like, listen, this is who I am, world.
Yeah, because I spent many years being a people pleaser. You know, I did not want, I just wanted everyone to have fun. I wanted you to, but that in itself, you know, but it wasn't until, which I shared with your wife, 2018, the end of the year, me and my sister, we were homeless for a couple of months.
Wow.
Like nobody knew this. An apartment situation had fell through, and we had nowhere to go. So we was just, thankfully, we had hotels to go, so we could at least pay for hotels for the week or whatever. So for 3 months, we're like bombing it at different hotels.
Ding!
You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, and mind you, at that time, I had not secured the job managing the gym. I had just left the Planet Fitness. And so I'm at the hotel, she's like at work, I'm at the hotel, and that was probably one of like, I don't want to say it was the lowest moment, but it was a moment where I was absolutely like availed to what was happening. And I can really see and understand how important it is to not care about people and their views of you and them liking you and them wanting to accept what you do and how you do it, because here you are in this hotel, can't go to nobody really but your family, of course, but none of these people that you're trying to please, you can't go to any of them for help. So why are you so concerned with making them happy or them like you or them accept you?
Wow.
Because when moments like this happen, I promise you, none of these people are going to be available to you. So in that moment, I realized, like, man, please let me, Lord, if you get me out of this.
One of them things.
Right. If you get me out of this, I promise you, I will only care about what you care about. I'm not going to care about people. So if you call me to do whatever, I'm not going to concern myself with, do they like it? Do they no. Does God love it? Do I love it? Right. You know, is this going to progress me? Is this going to make me better? So I came out of there super confident. I told my friends about it afterwards, because mind you, I was doing the TBN. Nobody knew. Like, we was recording for the praise and everything, and I'm just happy. Nobody knew I'm going back to the hotel. Right. And mind you, these wasn't like, 5-star hotels. It was like 1-2 stars. You know, we're at night, pressing the bugs, because it was a terrible experience. A terrible experience. Wow. But I'm so grateful for that experience, because I came out of like, yo, this is me. I'm gonna wear it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wear my buns. I'm gonna be me and be comfortable in me, because being me in the totality, especially in line with how God wants me to be, it shouldn't offend you. And if it does, then that's you. That's not me. Right. I'm not gonna hate that you hate me, and I'm gonna love if you love me, but I'm gonna always be comfortable with me, because I know what I came from. And I understand where God is trying to take me, and I have to embrace that more than whether or not you like me. So.
It's funny because, and I covered my face when you were telling that story, because I was homeless for some time. Wow. And I did the hotel bouncing thing. And it's not a pretty thing, but like, I feel like, after going through as much as I've been through, I feel like I could take like anything on right now. Like,
Listen.
I did 2 years in Afghanistan. I was a contractor, so I was getting paid. It was a job, so I was getting money. But when you over there, the living conditions are like tight. Like it's you get a 10 by 10. You got plywood. You got a tent. You're in a tent. You got sandstorms. You got snow. You got incoming. You're in the middle of a desert. Like
That's worse than homelessness.
it's so the living conditions are like they're extreme. They're not ideal at all. You know, people show up, they get that first taste of incoming, they like send me on the plane and take me home. I don't want to do this anymore. I did it for 2 years. And,
wow, 2 years.
And I would have done it longer if I didn't have my son.
Yeah.
But I had my son, and I was like, I know what it's like to be gone over here. Like I mean, yeah, you could send money back home, but ain't nothing like you being there.
Right.
So like, staying over there, like for me, I was like, you know, I'm here. Like from what I had to come through, you know, 1 of 7, we were poor. You know what I'm saying? It was tough.
Yep.
Meals was like few and far between. So now I'm 35, I eat everything. Everything get eaten. Ain't no nothing going. It's gonna come through me before I leave this house.
No food.
But
left
like,
behind.
there you go. But so that's how I grew up, and like now where I'm at in my life, I feel like, man, not to say that things still don't get to me because I'm a person.
Yeah, of course.
But like just living and going through what I've gone through, my skin has gotten really thick. I don't want to be mean to nobody. I don't want to be a jerk to nobody.
Yeah.
But like, I'm going somewhere now.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that you can attest to that too. It's just like, hey, I'm going somewhere now.
Right.
You're more than I'm more than willing to allow you to come, but you better line up with this because I got somewhere to go.
Right. Exactly.
So I guess just speak a little bit about the way that you look at relationships now, like what do you value, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or not. I just want to get on. I just want to talk about people now.
Okay.
And just the way that, you know, you look at relationships, because when you're at your lowest, there ain't too many people there. Like I remember,
Ain't too many.
It's no shade to nobody, but when I got married, like my network was a nice amount of people.
Yeah.
I'm married for 5 years now. It'll be 5 years this month. That list has dwindled to 2, and them 2 know who they are. But like, so life has a way of thinning things out.
Yeah. So for me now, relationships, I want to say that, not even I want to say, I know that I've prayed to have a keen sense of discernment. Like who I'm connected to is very important in the process of where you're going. Like where you're going is very important to assess your circle, because the cliche saying everyone can't go where you're going, right? So now for me, it's not even about like, are you going to be there in my lowest? Like, I just want to see how you operate just in general. I watch my friends, how they are with just other people. Like, because you can be good to me, but you can be nasty to someone else. And I take that into consideration, because I can do one bad thing to you or say one bad thing, or we have a hiccup and I can turn into that person that you was nasty to. So that's how I kind of look at it. And then even relationships, for me now is I want what I want and I said what I meant. So if I told you this is what I want and this is what I desire in a friendship, in a relationship, and what I want is never going to be just for me. Like I am the type of person where I'm big on balance and reciprocity. So if I give it, I want to receive it, because I've been in a place where I've given and given and given and never received. And I was okay with that at the time, because I'm like, I'm not gonna change my character. I'm gonna still be me. I'm still gonna give. But now that I'm older, I'm like, it's okay to say no to this type of relationship. Like, it's okay to say no to it. Like, it's not going to hurt you if you like, you know what, maybe this is just not working for me. So now, like, even in the dating realm, it's like, so what are you looking for? Oh, you know, I'm just kind of going with the flow, seeing how things go, you know, kind of seeing out the scene, dating life, and then, you know, choosing maybe in 6 months' time. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we're looking for 2 different things. So I'm just going to go ahead and say we're going to be cool and be friends. And a lot of people like, well, dang, you're not even going to, I'm like, I already know what I want. Like I'm about to be 34. So like I'm at that age, and that's so, isn't it cliche? They say like when you get in your 30s, like and I'm like, I'll see when I get there, but no, I'm here and I'm like
30 is beast. I love being 30.
Right. And it's not even that you're a jerk, honestly. Like you say, you don't want to be a jerk, because I don't feel like I am, but I'm
you ain't a jerk.
I'm so straightforward. It can make people be taken aback sometimes. So I'm like, no, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't even waste my time with like, no.
Nah, we ain't
I don't like that. I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
Like, well, can we at least? No, I don't want to waste your time or mine. Mostly mine.
Mostly mine,
but and for you too, because I know that you're wanting something a little more out there and free, and I'm more of right here. Because I feel like, and I love the idea of marriage. I love marriage and what it can do. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, I've always had this belief that marriage unlocks a different level of favor, especially in like your career, your life. It unlocks a different level of favor. So for me, like I've always had that desire, because I feel like I can go but so far as a single woman. But if I'm connected to someone, man, like now the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
That whole scripture, two can chase, like that thing I think is tailored into marriage. So for me, that's what I desire. And so now in my 30s, I'm like, if you're not looking for that, and I don't understand, help me understand while we're here. I know I'm asking a question. Help me understand, how are you like a man in your 30s talking about you want to see what's out there and go with the flow? What?
I'm gonna say something too.
Like how?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to segue into my dog Kevin.
Oh man,
Samuel.
I love him.
I just found out about him. Nobody told me. I made it all the way to 30 and I didn't know about this guy.
He just became popular. I think a lot of people just that one viral video really put him on the map.
He said it too. He was like, because he was doing it, behind the scenes. But COVID forced everybody to get behind that camera. Or get in front of that camera. I respect COVID for that.
Yeah, it did something for him too. So
it did. So I'm gonna tell you like this. Like I just told one of my friends, one of my close friends. I just told him this. I was just like, being 30 is a beastie age, because you're young enough to do a lot. Yeah. But then like you're old enough, because you're not that 2. Something about that 2 just makes people look like you're like, When that 3 gets there, people look at you like you a little bit like you can command the respect of the older generation, and they'll give it to you.
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them. You're right. Some of them. But then on the flip side of it, you still have that youth about you, to where you can still kind of relate. So it's to me, it's that perfect balance. And I feel like the 30s is when you devour the most. So like being a man, I told my friend this, man. I said, becoming 30, you don't really realize, or you don't comprehend, most men, not every man, because some men get it in their 20s and that's a great time to get it. But some men don't understand that you really can choose until you get to that 30 round. Then you're like, dang, when they told me you could pick any woman you want, or you could have anything, they really meant that. And then when you get 30, you start seeing that as being possible. Yeah. But you still don't want to squander your 30s. You don't want to waste them, because you can waste your 30s trying to decide, versus understanding that you can decide and decide. And so I think, I can't speak for every man, but I think that I know for me, when I hit 30 and you start getting a little strut about yourself, you're like, dang, hold on, man. That confidence has moved to another level. You're like, wait, hold on, boy. Like you start realizing that man come out of you, and you're like, dang. So like, I feel like some men start getting into that space when they get 30. You know what I'm saying? So you start getting into that space where you're feeling yourself a little bit. And then when you take that to,
this is so true.
But that's just life. That's just the life side. And then your career professional, you're doing these, you're devouring things, you start making more money when you start getting into your 30s, you start attaining more. So now you become more appealing to the women ladies.
Oh, so it's like your pick of.
So it's like it just opens up if you have some sense about you.
Listen, that is not fair because we hit 30. No. We hit 30s and we don't get this beautiful story of how I come into my own and have options. Now we're looking at old maid and, you know, she's 30 and she's probably looking to settle down.
Not really. Not
what?
Really. It depends.
On what?
It depends. It will depend on the individual. I would say it will depend on the individual and where they're at. So.
Come on now.
I will say that.
We're gonna do a generalization, right?
Okay.
So when you think of a woman in her 30s, she's single. What's the first thing? I'll say single, no kids, in her 30s. What's the first thing you say about them?
I want to know what she's been through, what hurt at. Because
no, they're not saying that she got to be crazy. Like, what's wrong with her? That's the first thing they say.
Oh, they'll be like, oh, yo, why you still?
Why you saying you must be crazy?
No, it's not that you crazy.
No, that's what they say. You must be crazy.
They told you that?
Yeah, like
they told you that?
There must be something wrong with you. I'm like, huh?
And
then with the man is, he got his choices, and you know he coming into his own. This beautiful.
I'm just saying.
Story of coming into.
You
30.
asked me the question.
The women get to be crazy, and y'all get to be coming into your own.
You don't get to be crazy. I don't know who called you crazy.
Men, men.
I don't know. My thing is,
I'm a different guy. That's not.
No, I'm not saying I'm a different guy. I don't know. But see, my thing would be like a woman being single and in her 30s. My question is like, I need to know that story.
That is really deep. I wouldn't be thinking. I'm like, she not with it. She like really want what she want, and maybe she's pursuing her career. That's the route I would go.
But that don't matter though.
To men, it doesn't matter.
No, it don't matter to men because it's like, yo, are you trying to get married? You trying to do this relationship thing or not? Because all that stuff don't matter when it comes to do you want to be married or not, because that's why this amazing word that begins with a C means something, compromise. So either we're going to do that, or you got to decide what you want. You want marriage and relationship, or do you want to pursue this thing and become this career woman? You got to choose. And then not to say you got to kill one for the other, but you got to compromise. You might not be able to get where you want to get in 5 years. It may take you maybe 7 or 10.
That sounds amazing. But
it does.
I think men are the start of the domino effect, right? So that sounds good. Most men don't care about your career. They like if you got something going. But in this society now, they have glorified women being super independent, having their own money. We're gonna go 50-50, like you gonna do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. So you have a lot of men going in that direction, and then you have other men who like, well, you know, that's cool, but you know, you got to compromise that because I still want X, Y, and Z. What do y'all want?
But
what do y'all want?
But
it's not us that's not knowing what we want. It's us trying to. And I'm just speaking for women because I don't care. But it's women trying to fit into what men keep moving into, because as time progresses, y'all are changing what is required of a woman.
No, men haven't changed what is
required. Yes, they have. No. I've had so many men get so mad at me because I said, I'm never going Dutch on a date.
But see, I don't know.
Never doing that.
So here's the thing. I don't know about the men you talk to. I don't know. I can't speak for them. I can speak for me.
I do stuff on Facebook.
Clique. No, I got you.
So it's a
So I'll say this.
It's not men who talk to me.
The pushing for this woman and stuff like that. I don't know who did that push. I don't know what part of culture and society decided to push this type of woman and say this is the woman that men want. I don't know what men were sitting in the room and decided that. I wasn't in that meeting. They didn't invite me, because if they did, I'd have been like, you guys are crazy. But so you got to look at who's pushing that narrative, because you got to remember pop culture is a thing. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's true. Right. So that's why I said what are the men saying, because that's what matters.
Well, that's what the men, because I do these questions on my social media, because I love kind of probing in the mind of both sexes, right? And so I do these type questions because I want to see, in general, what are men thinking, where they at, like.
And then you got to look at what men are saying that too. What men want you to go Dutch on a date? What do they got?
I
What do they
mean,
pursue?
you know,
where are they at? And
not-
then you gotta decide too. Do you want that type of man that wants Dutch, or do you want the type of man that has this? And then you got to see what this guy's saying versus what this guy's saying.
See, it depends on the female. But again, they tailor themselves according to what they feel.
Do female want a man? Do female want a man?
There are
that
some
goes
females
Dutch?
like, yeah, you know, I'll go Dutch because we both want the same thing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting over here like, what? I'm never doing that. I'm never doing it. It's me. No. I'm like, do y'all even understand like what dating is? I'm never doing that. Like, and they're like, why? Like, what? For what? You asked me. Like, why? And
it makes sense though.
What makes sense? Going Dutch?
No, that you don't want to.
Oh, I was going to say, sir.
No, that makes total sense.
No, and I have a great reasoning behind it. I said, for me, it's the small details into what could be a bigger thing, right? So if you take responsibility of the date, the financial part, to me now I'm looking at, oh, he's okay with being a provider. And then how you are on the date, like, oh, okay, I can see him as a protector. I can see, you know, us build. I can see in that date moment. So you talking about going Dutch, like, you want to, what do you want to?
That's why I said, why would a man say? That's why I said, what type of man says that? I don't know the type of men that say that. I can't speak for them. I won't even try to speak for them.
I would love to give like a title to these types because they come in all shapes.
So my thing would be like
mentalities.
My thing would be like it goes back to what type of man a woman wants, because if there's a type of man that you want, then you have to figure out what that type of man is attracted to. It's just like it's like hunting. It's like hunting, right? Okay. It's like hunting. If or fishing or whatever like that. If I'm trying to catch a particular type of animal, right? I'm going to lure it with this particular type of bait, right? So it depends on what type of animal I'm hunting. If I'm hunting deer, I'm not going to try to hunt deer and throw out a piece of turkey or something, or put a worm on a hook, because I'm not trying to catch a fish, I'm trying to catch a deer. So your lure has to be different. So if there's women out there to say, hey, I want this type of man, well, then you need to find out what that type of man likes and do that. You can't say, hey, I'm gonna do this, and this type of man needs to come to me and needs to find me, and I'm Ruth trying to get my Boaz, and I'm gonna try to be this, and it's just like, no, but he don't like that. No, but I got this, that, and the third, but he don't care about that. It goes back to what Kevin Samuel says. I'm not trying to quote him, but what he says makes total sense.
Yeah, he was
so it's
making
just
a lot
like,
of sense.
And that's why I asked, what type of man says let's go Dutch? Like, I don't know that type.
Right. I don't research these men, but to me, they automatically trash to me in my mind.
In your mind, I got you, and that makes total sense. So when I do my panel discussion, because I'm going to do that, and I'm going to bring a panel together, and we're going to discuss topics, especially relationship. Ooh, relationship. I'm going to have to invite you to that panel.
You got to, because I always have something to say.
You always have something to say.
I tell people, I spent my dating time studying men. It's like a project for me. I really wanted to understand the mind of a guy.
Don't do that to yourself.
It's fun until it gets tiring, which is why I kind of closed that door.
But thinking of some stuff.
I tell, like, my best friend.
I ain't gonna tell y'all what we thinking. I ain't snitching. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Y'all have a lot of thoughts. Y'all do a lot of crazy things. Say a lot of crazy things, and it's been quite a journey to why I'm like, yeah, I know what I want.
Right.
But I did spend that time really just studying a man, because I just want to understand why y'all are the way that y'all are. Like, what is going on in your head? Like, and I think the number one thing I have noticed with men is that you guys really do not process trauma issues very well at all. Like,
when we go through trauma?
Yeah, y'all don't process it, and so it really shows in what y'all physically do. And with women, it's what we emotionally do. And so I think that's like the one thing that I can across the board tell with men, but it was very interesting. I've had some crazy dates. Crazy.
Because men, we're not emotional most of the time.
No.
And we don't think a lot with emotions. So we can feel something and go through it. And it's not to say that we're not affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't lend our emotions to it.
Yeah.
Because we
You
don't
do,
deem
but
it
the
as,
one emotion y'all go to is anger.
it's always anger.
It's
but there's a
always.
reason why a man always goes to anger.
Why?
Well, because it's still an emotion. And if all you go through is if you go through life and you're growing up, especially if there's no father in the home. Now see, now we're going all the way deep. And I don't want to do all this. But if there's no dad in the home, right? But this is a sit down. This is what we do.
That's
why
what
you
we
watch
do.
it. So subscribe.
Yeah.
But so like say, especially if there's no dad in the home, right? And dad not being there, now all of a sudden the child or the son, because the masculine emotion is most of the time anger,
Associated with anger. Yeah.
right? It's anger, and it might not be that event that is triggering that child to be angry. It could be a combination of a whole bunch of things, right? But anger is what they're used to, displaying. So now your default emotion is anger or rage, because there is a lot of that and not even just in men, but in people in general, and especially black men and women. We deal with that hard because there is no type of therapy in the home, or I'm not even gonna say that the parents have to be therapy to the children, but there is no type of nothing like that in the home. You're not taught how to handle your emotions. You're not taught how to process them. Most of the time it's like, hey, men don't cry. I don't know who thought of that filth. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
You better cry. But like, and so that's what you see a lot of. And so when now that man is, or that boy is a man now, and the only thing he ever knows is what is displayed through music or movies or his circle of friends, because he was raised by a woman, but the woman had to work because now she got to supply for the kids. So he really wasn't raised by his mom. She was just there. And then mom is going to do what moms do. They're going to, it's okay. They're going to do mom things, and there's nothing wrong with doing mom things. But too much of that is not a good thing.
Right.
And if dad is there, he's not active in his kids' lives like he should be. Not to say every man, because I know some great fathers out there, black fathers. So, that's not every situation. But, and so now you get to, and if dad is there, he needs to know how to navigate his emotions or be on the way to understand that. So it goes a lot deeper than that. And rage is that protective emotion. So I'm just gonna get mad because I don't want to deal with it, and I'm just gonna get angry, and hopefully you'll go away. But it don't go away. It comes back, y'all. Trust me.
I guess to even go back to your point of men being associated with what they do, how they look to their friends, and how they appeal to people. And I feel like that's how they miss out on great women, because again, if my boy's not rocking with it, like me being this committed, good, like what they call simp now, that's the word now, being a simp, that's like a new thing. Like if it doesn't look good to my homeboys, if it doesn't look good to whomever, then they kind of take this path that's adverse to what could be good for them, which is, this good woman, which is the domino effect of now you've, harmed this woman, so now she's finna do hurt things, and it's just gonna be this, progress. I feel like men are I want to say the beginning of this.
Sometimes.
I think most times.
So you got to look at it like this.
I think y'all the start.
Not every man is going to be influenced by his clique.
But I'm speaking more so in the black community.
It's the general, but even in the black community, not every black man, not even most black men, will be influenced by their clique. It just, like I said, it depends on where you're hunting.
Right.
So if all you, and that's how people get, hold on real quick. That's how people get this world view. You can't generate a world view from your city or from your clique. And so we'll learn things from a microscope, and then we'll try to layer that over this worldview, and that's not right. That's not even factual. So, so you have to you have to kind of like get out of this circle, right? You kind of got to get out of this circle to try to go into other places and see what it looks like. So most men, especially the men that I know or that I associate with, they're not going to be influenced by their homies, because they know what they want. That's why I said it depends on what you're fishing for or what you're hunting for. So if there's a type of man, because they're out there and they exist,
of course,
they go through it, because you're going to go through it, and you still may experience pain and hurt even in marriage. You're still going to go through it. You're humans, right? You're not perfect, so you're still going to have to go through it. But what you want is to make sure that whoever it is that you pick, whether it's a man or whether a man picks a woman, or a woman says, okay, yeah, I like this guy, I'm gonna accept this proposal. You know, whoever it is, it's just what type of life do you want? Where do you want to get to? And are you going to be committed to this work? Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters, boy.
It's gonna be work.
Are you committed to that freaking work? Yeah. I had one of my mentors. He was on the show. He actually, what's up, Pastor Brown? He's actually was my first guest on the show. Okay. And this guy, I mean, he came on and we did a talk about marriage, because he's been married 20 plus years. Nice. That's a freaking feat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, that's crazy, especially with the divorce rate the way it is. Yeah. And COVID just like
rocks some families.
But so it's just like I hats off to that, but it takes work. Yeah. Right? No matter where you look at it. Right. And then we turn this into a freaking relationship.
I know. I don't want to generalize men in general. I'm just saying, because I know, like myself and you guys, I would even say we're changing that perception of relationships. And for me, like, that's why I'm so anal about how I do dating now, you know, because the end goal is always marriage, because I want to end a lot of generational curses in my family, because divorce was a big thing, especially on my aunt's side, the women's side of things. You know, they just, when it came to choosing men, they chose the idea of have your own, because you never know what that man's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even saying like
that's weird.
That's what it was. Me and my mom talk about it now. Like, we're in such a good place now. We've had some really deep conversations just in general, especially just about my life and how it's progressed. And I told her, like, yeah, at 28, you know, I went and got therapy.
Which is like really good.
Yeah. Wow. I went and got therapy because there are a lot of things that I want to change, and I know you're not able to tell me how, because you couldn't figure it out because of what you was going through with everything with us, and then your marriages, and then of course, you know, my family. So I'm like, I need to go someone that can help me kind of process what I grew up in, and then how do I move forward? That's what I needed answer, and the only way I could do it is through therapy. So I did it for a year. Wow. Best decision of my life.
Heck yeah.
And so it changed some things, and I'm like, so now I'm talking to her about this, and she's finally opening up about stuff that she's been through, and now I'm getting to a lot of root issues in our family dynamic. Like, okay, cool. So now I can change this because I don't went into the root of it, and I felt like some healing happened with that. And so now moving forward, it's like, even in the career aspect, in the relationship aspect, there's so many things that I feel like will change because I took those necessary steps, you know. And now I can have my one premium kid, and that's it. And tell he or she, you can be an artist, you can be a rapper, you can be a scientist, you can be an astronaut, whatever you decide, I'm going to support you, because I believe that you can make it happen. If you have the right mindset, the work ethic, because whatever you do is going to take work, you know, and kind of instill that in them. I feel like, you know, has she been more like, okay, whatever you want to do. She started doing that later, and she was like, if this is what you want to do, I support you. And that's when I was like, okay, cool. Like, I was good. All right, I got my mom's support. Finally, I hear like she's proud of me. Yeah. And so I'm like, instead of waiting so long, I'm gonna start instilling that, like, I'm proud of you now. You're not even, you can be barely talking, my kid. I'm like, I'm proud of you just for, you know, taking a few steps. Like I want to be able to instill that early on to kind of build a better foundation. So that's what I was really saying, like in our generation, because we didn't have that type of, most families didn't have that type of upbringing. You was taught to be tough, to be a strong woman, to be a tough man, you know, a strong man. I want to change that dynamic into just being us. You don't have to necessarily be strong all the time. It's okay to cry. It helps. It keeps you from having high blood pressure and all those issues.
Keep that
and
stress
see,
down.
so when I was like doing personal training, I spent probably a good hour just doing like therapy sessions with them. So what brings you in? Why did you get to this point in your life? Why are you wanting to change? What happened? So you learn so much about people, like, oh, I went through a divorce, oh, I lost my mom, or I went through depression. You learn so much in that, and getting here allows them to change here. So for me, getting here in myself allowed me to change here, which brought me to confident, Iva is cool with who she is.
It all starts with that mind, man.
Yeah.
And it's all what you feed it to. And I think the fact that you decided to put something else up there.
Yeah.
It helps it. And, one of the things I love to say all the time, man, is that we're just products of the information we consume.
Yeah.
Because you can't really act on it unless you really know it exists. And sometimes it's the flip side to ignorance. Like, you just don't know what you don't know. It's not even like you're trying to do these things, like you don't know. And then especially the way that we were raised and how we were raised, the generation before, it's like there was a lot of, this is what you do this, and then it works that way.
It works out for you.
But it didn't. And this is what happened.
It did not.
It did not. And this is what I was talking to my wife about a while ago. I said, we tried it a lot of their ways, and it didn't work for us. Like the people that, dang it, man, I didn't want to go here, but I'm gonna go here. Then I'm gonna get out of it.
Okay.
Like you sat in church and then y'all prayed for it, and it didn't happen. And then now I'm like 25, and I didn't pursue because I was praying. Not to say that praying is bad.
But did y'all didn't
I gotta go to work. Because I see where you're at, and I don't want to be there at 60. I'm trying to be. I got 60-year-olds watching this? No. I don't want to be that 60. I don't want my 60 to look like that. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm sorry. I gotta do some work. And that's it's just like, I understand y'all need my help at the church. I know I'm good at this. Thank you. I appreciate it. You paying? No? Okay.
Cool.
I got to go get some money, okay? I got 3 kids and I'm married. I'm sorry.
That's what happened with the church job. I was like,
I'm sorry.
I need a job. Like, I'm not making money here. Y'all not offering.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm good.
I'm gonna serve him with gladness, but I'm gonna also go get this job.
Thank you, God.
Because, and my mom, just to even take it off a 60-year-old, I just talk about my mom.
Right.
We talk about that, and she has 2 degrees, right? 2 degrees, and she's a Head Start teacher. And she said, fear prevented me from pursuing further.
And she's
like, don't let fear do that to you. She said, y'all are way more fearless than I am.
Yep.
She said, but you need to step out a little bit more, especially in what you do, in order to be successful. She's like, don't be like me. She's like, I wasted all this time, and now I only have a little bit of working years left. And I'm like, man, so now I'm here like,
that's real.
I want the next 10 years of my life to look way different from the last 10 years. And I say from the start of this year, I said the next 10 years of my life are going to be so much better. Probably going to be the best 10 years.
Right.
Because I'm going to establish so much, and I'm going to walk more in faith and less in fear. And I can't say I'm be 100% fearless, because that's just not humanly possible. You're gonna always have that little bit, but when you feel it, that's when you say, like, jump out of the airplane.
Let's go.
And start building.
Start building that plane.
You at least you know what tools you have. Like, I feel like I done fell bam like that, right? So now I know, okay, so this time I have a little bit more to work with. So so this time I'm like, these next 10 years I'm not going to squander it. I feel like this is my last chance to make it work for me. Yeah. Because if I don't, then I'm gonna be that one. I remember when.
That's when. That's why, like, my son, I was teaching him how to walk, and he would fall, and sometimes I would shield him from falling, right? But I got to a space where I said, I'm not gonna catch him next time. I'm not gonna let him fall in the back of his head.
Right,
That's
of course.
But he fell to his knees, and I didn't catch him. That boy know how to fall though. He know how to fall. And sometimes I think in life, parents, they just don't want their kids to fall. And it's not that falling is bad. They don't think falling is bad.
Yeah.
They just know how much it hurts because they fell.
That's good.
And they're trying to prevent you from the pain. But that pain.
Yeah.
Because now that you know what that fall looked like, the next time you jump out that plane, you're gonna jump out the plane.
We're
gonna jump. Because this is what we do. We creatives.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, now this time before I jump.
Yeah, I remember there was like
there was something.
I left something on it.
Right.
Probably should grab that this time.
Probably should have thought about that before I did it.
You know.
I probably just shouldn't have just prayed and got out. I probably should have prepared. Pray before I jump, prepared, and then started working because God makes trees. He don't make tables and chairs.
Prayed and got no parachute. Just was praying and jumping, no parachute.
And God is going to take care of it. Oh, I don't promote because God promotes my business. All right, keep saying that.
Right. Oh, my God.
Keep saying that.
I was such a fool for even thinking, because I was one of those people like, I don't want to put too much on it. I don't want to put myself out there. And I'm looking at my friends same ones who said like, dog, you post a lot. Like, I'm like, oh man, maybe I do post a lot. Then next time,
post a lot.
Hey, come do this. Come check my bill. I'm like,
yep.
I thought we was posting.
What?
Oh, you didn't. Oh, okay.
Okay, got you. You didn't want me to post it because you knew that I was dangerous. Okay, cool. No competition. I got you.
Dang.
You thin in the herd. Nah, man. So that's facts, man. And that's why, like, even with what I do, like, my platform is conversational because my lane is conversation. I know some people come with this, that, and the third, and they shows do all these things. That's just not my lane. Yeah. I tried it though.
Yeah. How did that work out for you?
It didn't work.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
So I said, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me just roll this window back up, put my hand back in this car, Lord. We're gonna drive this. I'm gonna sit right back in my seat, and we're gonna do it this way. Right. But when I did that, it worked.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I think that's all in finding your lane. That's all in jumping out that plane.
Yeah.
So this was dope.
Yeah.
Thanst for sitting down with me. We didn't fist bump in the beginning.
So that's cool. No, this is awesome. I had a great.
Yeah.
We was getting into like, hold on, wait, what you mean?
But see, that's what. But it has to go there. Like one thing. Like I'm for the conversation.
Right.
I'm for the conversation. So wherever the conversation goes, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go because, like, we're
gonna talk.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. And I tell, like, when I invite people on, I'm like, listen, they're like, oh, I gotta see how it's gonna be. I'm like, listen, I just talk. Like, I'm honest. I'm dead serious. Like, I just talk.
You're good, and your segues are kind of like, I'm like, okay, oh, we like turning. Like, oh, okay, so like, I just need to roll with, okay, cool, yeah, let's just go.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you.
She was like, yeah, you're just gonna be talking. I'm like, so we have no time. No, we just whatever you flow out, and he'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, cool. He'll figure it out. He'll ask the questions. I'm like, sure. And you was like, oh yeah, so about that time that you said you played keys, like, what? We were just
I had to go back. Right. But I'm gonna tell you what, like, like, the thing about it is, it's weird. I'm gonna say it's weird.
It's unique.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's very unique.
And the reason why I said it is because, like, before, like, when I used to do it, like, I had the papers. I would do the cue cards. I would do all that stuff. For a little bit, I would have the laptop, but the laptop would be off the shot, and I'd be scrolling right here. And then I had a timer.
Okay.
I had a timer, and then the timer was an hour, and then, like, I would see them, like, okay, we gotta try to write this stuff up, and then the timer fell one time.
Oh man.
So I took it as a sign. I said, okay, God, I'm done with the timer. But, like, it happened. I was talking, I see the file. I was like, okay, I'm done with the timer. And I just left it
Because
alone.
you'll keep watching it, and like instead of just flowing. Because you can always cut out like, you know, what you need to cut out. But no, it was cool. It wasn't like a slow moment. It's just where we were going. I didn't expect that we'd be turning down that road. I'm like, okay, so this is a different location. Like when I was coming here, I was like, I've never been. This apartment always been. Okay, this is nice.
That's dope though.
And then we arrived, was like, oh, this is dope. Okay.
This is dope.
Yeah. No, this was great.
Welcome to the sit down.
No, this is awesome.
I appreciate it. So I guess let the people know where they can get in touch with you, because now they know a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
They're gonna follow you now. They're gonna support.
Oh,
so
well.
you gotta tell them where to go.
So you can follow me on Instagram on officially Iva. And then Facebook, you just put my name in. There's not too many Ivas out here in this world, so it's Iva Pittman. You can find that. And then I do have an art page. It is official 5 p.m. I am a painter, and currently I will be hosting a show very soon, probably this year. And nice. I'll probably send out invites for that. But yeah.
And let us know, man. I'd definitely like to support that.
For sure.
So thank you guys for watching the sit down. Thumbs up the video. Reach out to the guests, right? Support the guest. Do that, people.
Please.
Shop the sit down. Get you some merch. And subscribe to the channel. But you guys are subscribers, because you don't just watch my stuff and not subscribe. You're not that type of people, right? So thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel. So I want to say what's up to the partners. Pinka, taxmoney123.com, and then one of my favorite partners, Oksana, the legacy coach. Hey. So thank you guys so much for watching the sit down, and I will see you next time. Deuces. Yeah. That's it.